Here's how every NWSL team got its name. The NWSL itself is the successor to the Women's Professional Soccer League, which ran from 2007 to 2012. The WPSL was preceded by the Women's United Soccer Association, running from 2001 to 2003. The NWSL logo follows similar design elements of the previous two leagues. The red, white, and blue color scheme matches other major pro sports leagues in the United States, as well as a silhouetted soccer player kicking the ball in the middle of the logo, another staple of many American sports logos. But now that we've looked at the NWSL itself, let's take a look at each team. New Jersey, New York Gotham FC was a founding member of the NWSL and was originally named Jersey Sky Blue and began playing in the USL Women's League in 2007. They joined the aforementioned WPS in 2009 and then the NWSL in 2013. When they were selected to join the WPS later that first season, the team was rebranded as Sky Blue FC. They kept that name as they joined the NWSL in 2013. In 2021, the team announced a rebrand to New Jersey, New York Gotham FC. Of the rebrand, club chair Tammy Murphy said, quote, "Our new name reflects our expanding regional reach and captures the relentless determination, unlimited energy, and incredible diversity of the communities we represent." At the top of the new crest is the crown of the Statue of Liberty. One of the most iconic monuments of the United States, the Statue of Liberty is situated in New York Harbor between New York and New Jersey. In the center of the shield, in sky blue, is the lettering with the N and JY hybrid letter, representing the club's regional fan base in the New Jersey, New York metropolitan area. Because of the number of teams in the NWSL, I will also look at teams that have since folded. The Western New York Flash began in 2008 as the Buffalo Flash, playing in the USLW League. In 2011, the team name became Western New York Flash. That coincided with them joining the WPS, then a league called WPSL Elite in 2012. The team's logo was designed to match the owner's other company, called Salins, a meatpacking company based out of Buffalo, New York. The team's franchise rights were purchased shortly after winning the NWSL in 2016, and the team was moved to North Carolina, becoming a new team that we will discuss further down in the video. In 2009, the Chicago Red Stars began playing in the WPS. They left the WPS playing in the WPSL in 2011, and then in that same WPSL Elite League in 2012, before finally becoming one of the founding members of the NWSL in the inaugural 2013 season. The Red Stars got their name from the red stars on the Chicago flag. Each star represents a significant moment in Chicago history, much like we discussed about the Chicago Fire in my MLS team name video, which you can check out on my channel. The name Red Stars was chosen from 10 finalists. The other were Chicago 1871, which was the year of the Chicago Fire, the Chicago Blues after Chicago's music scene, the Chicago Massacre in honor of the Fort Dearborn Massacre, also called the Battle of Fort Dearborn, during the War of 1812. The Chicago Progress, named after the Century of Progress exposition. The Chicago Riot, in honor of the history of civil unrest that, quote, "While polarizing at the time, they all led to a better place to live for all Chicagoans and reflect, though exaggerated, the passion and spirit expected from our players and fans." A personal favorite, the Chicago Stinking Onions. Chicago is actually named for the Potawatomi word for stinking onions, Chicago. Probably am pronouncing that wrong. The Chicago Towers, named for the Chicago skyscrapers that make up the city's skyline. Chicago Union, in honor of Chicago Union Stockyards, Union Station, support of the Union Army in the Civil War, and a strong history of labor unions in the city, as well as the soccer community uniting around the team. And finally, the Chicago Wind, after Chicago's nickname, the Windy City. On their original logo here, you see the large 6-point red star at the center over the flag of Chicago with its 4 stars representing the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, World Columbian Exposition of 1893, the Century of Progress Exposition in 1933, and commemorating Fort Dearborn. The 2 blue lines representing the north and south branches of the Chicago River, and the 3 white representing the northwest and south sides of Chicago. The shape of the original logo was taken from the shield in the center of the Chicago City seal. Finally, in 2018, they updated their logo design to the one that we see today, keeping intact the majority of the design elements from the original crest. The Boston Breakers were a team that also began playing in the WPS and WPS Elite before becoming a founding member of the NWSL. Founded in 2009, they were a spiritual rebirth of the WUSA team, also named the Boston Breakers. That name was chosen by fan contests in 2000 for that original team. The Boston Breakers logo remained the same from the original WUSA team for the entirety of the Boston Breakers franchise. The logo depicts a soccer ball under a wave as it breaks, beneath the team name Boston Breakers. If you date back to the first WUSA team, the Boston Breakers were one of the longest running women's soccer teams at the time that the team folded in 2017 after failed negotiations to find a new buyer for the club. Founded in 2011 as DC United Women and playing in the USL W League, in 2013 when Washington DC was awarded one of the NWSL franchises, the team was reformed as the Washington Spirit, becoming one of the inaugural 8 franchises. The badge shape was designed to resemble a torch, perhaps like one you would see holding the flame in the Olympics. The top half of the logo contains an intertwined DC surrounded by 11 stars, representing the 11 players on the pitch. In the bottom half is a ball with a single star. That star, making 12 total, represents the 12th player, or the fans. And it is in that spot that the torch would hold the fuel for the flame, this representing the idea that, quote, our fans fueled the spirit. The ball is being gripped by an eagle's talons, an eagle being the national bird of the United States. And finally, the entire design is undeniably patriotic in theme and fitting for the NWSL team based in the nation's capital. FC Kansas City were founded as one of the 8 founding clubs of the NWSL. Their name used the initials FC for football club, and their logo featured a stylized woman kicking a soccer ball. However, after 5 seasons in the NWSL, the team was dissolved after the 2017 season, and the players' contracts and team draft picks were transferred to a Utah-based expansion team. OL Reign began as one of the original 8 NWSL teams in 2013. Originally located in Seattle, the name Reign was chosen in honor of the first professional women's sports team in Seattle, also named the Seattle Reign. That team was a professional basketball team that played in the now defunct ABL. At the time, the owners stated, quote, like the Seattle Sounders, whose fans selected a name that honored those who pioneered the sport of soccer in Seattle in the early 1970s, Seattle Reign FC was in part selected to pay homage to those visionaries, the leaders and players of the Seattle Reign's women's basketball team, who pioneered professional women's sports in Seattle. That original Seattle Reign ABL team chose its name as a play on its location within King County, Washington, and as a pun on rainy Seattle. The Seattle Reign FC logo featured a queen wearing a crown. She's situated on a shield, and the crown extends out and past the bounds of the shield. Under her chin is the team name Seattle Reign FC. In 2019, the team relocated out of Seattle to Tacoma, Washington, and subsequently they dropped the word Seattle from both their name and logo, becoming Reign FC. Finally, in 2020, the team was purchased by OL Group, owners of Olympique Lyonnais from Lyon, France, who play in France's Ligue 1. With this new ownership, the team was renamed OL Reign. OL added to their name is a reference to OL Group and Olympique Lyonnais. The name Reign, however, remained unchanged, but perhaps fitting for the new badge design, which features a lion. A press release from the team stated, quote, "The new name is expressed in a reimagined badge that features a modern interpretation of the most sacred symbol of Lyon, the lion. The city of Lyon, France, has featured a lion on its coat of arms since 1320. The badge colors and the new colors of the club match the ownership group's other team, as well as matching the shield colors of the Lyon City coat of arms." The Portland Thorns were founded for the inaugural 2013 season of the NWSL. The name Thorns, as well as the design of their crest, come from Portland's nickname, Rose City. Every rose has its thorns, or so I've heard. The design of the crest features a rose at the center surrounded by a wreath of interlocked thorns. The name Portland Thorns across the top and bottom, and the letters FC on either side of the thorn wreath. Containing the letters FC and at the center of the rose is a four-sided star, the same shape as the focal point of the flag of Portland. The original logo had the same design, but the color scheme has since simplified into the monochromatic design we see today. The two stars were added above the logo for the two NWSL championships that Portland have won. The first in 2013 during the inaugural season, and the second in 2017. The Houston Dash became an expansion franchise to the NWSL in 2014. They are affiliated with Houston Dynamo of Major League Soccer. Because of their affiliation with the Dynamo, their club design is closely tied to the Dynamo in both color and style. The original crest featured a soccer ball at the bottom under the name Houston Dash. The sky blue lines streaking across the background have remained an important secondary color for the Dash to this day. They chose the name Dash as a reference to the speed of horses. For the 2021 season, the Dash and Dynamo announced a rebrand. Of the design, the team released the quote, "The hexagons are meant to reflect strength, stability, and unity. They are the strongest when arranged together, each one making its neighbor stronger and more stable." The six-sided design also gives a nod to Dynamo's inaugural year in 2006 and the 6 wards that made up the original layout of Houston, the city. The light blue, now named Space City Blue, is prominently featured, as well as a quasar shape at the bottom of the logo, both paying tribute to Houston's role in the space industry in NASA's Johnson Space Center located in Houston. Also, the shapes of the interlocking H and D of Dynamo and the H with an H of the Dash are both meant to draw from Houston's Bayou system, a number of slow-moving rivers that run through and around the city. In 2016, the Orlando Pride became an expansion team to the NWSL. Much like the Dash, the Orlando Pride are also directly affiliated with an MLS team, in this case Orlando City SC, and they're owned by the same owners. They get their name from civic pride for Orlando, and the name ties in nicely with the lion theme of Orlando City SC, a group of lions being called a pride. Their logo is designed as a circular badge with a fountain in the middle. The fountain is the same fountain found in Lake Eola in downtown Orlando. You can see the blue of the lake underneath the fountain and the jet of blue water shooting out of the top. We ended the section of the Western New York Flash talking about how the franchise rights were purchased and the franchise moved to North Carolina. Well, in 2017, that freshly purchased team entered the NWSL as the North Carolina Courage, owned by the same owner of the USL team North Carolina FC. The team gets the name Courage from the WUSA team called the Carolina Courage. The new badge even borrows some of the design elements, such as the lioness prominently featured on the badge. The rest of the design of the badge is in line with North Carolina FC, which takes the color and the implementation of the star from the North Carolina state flag. The point in the star that is beige represents the Research Triangle, a region of North Carolina home to 3 major research universities: Duke, North Carolina State University, and University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. In 2017, when FC Kansas City folded, the players and draft picks were transferred to a new franchise being established in Utah, and thus Utah Royals FC were founded at the start of the 2018 NWSL season. In color scheme and logo design, the Utah Royals FC badge was designed to fit in with Real Salt Lake of the MLS, which of course is owned by the same owner. The lioness and the name Royals fit with the regal theme of Real Salt Lake's name. Similarly, the crown atop the head of the lioness mirrors the crown atop the intertwined RSL, and the 2 soccer balls on either side of the Royals logo are the same design at the bottom of the RSL logo. After the 2020 season, the team ceased operations and the team's assets were transferred to a new franchise starting once again back in Kansas City. The ownership of Utah Royals FC continues to hold the option to bring a new team to the NWSL for the 2023 season. If that does happen, we'll have to make an update video to let you know all about that. But that leads us back to Kansas City, where in 2021 the Kansas City Current joined the NWSL. Because of how quickly the move of players and staff from Utah to Kansas City was happening, during the 2021 season, the team played under the name Kansas City NWSL and had a temporary badge that looked like this. They used it while the rest of the branding and design process was given time to be fully developed. At the final game of the 2021 season, the team announced their name and logo design for 2022 and beyond. Explaining the decision to name the team Current, the owner said, quote, "Our entire team had the vision of an unstoppable force churning below the surface in the heartland. When we solidified the location for our training facility and stadium on the Missouri River, we all knew the name had to be Kansas City Current." The new logo keeps many of the color and design choices from the temporary logo that preceded it. The new logo features the same teal and heartland red colors. KC is laid vertically in the center of the logo over a stripe of the same red color, Heartland being the name of that color as a reference to the location at the heart or center of the United States. The stripe is a river embodying the team's namesake. The river expands beyond the border of the badge, showing how the team also pushes beyond boundaries. And finally, the 2 stars represent the dual cities of Kansas City, one on the Kansas and one on the Missouri side of the state line. Racing Louisville FC joined the NWSL in 2021 as an expansion team owned by the owners of Louisville City of the USL. The name Racing Louisville FC was chosen as a way to incorporate the racing moniker, a common international naming convention for soccer clubs, which would make sense with Louisville's history of horse racing, being the location of the Kentucky Derby. The lavender badge with the fleur-de-lis was designed to fit closely with Louisville City's own badge. The fleur-de-lis is a common symbol of France and is seen on the Louisville City flag and seal. The fleur-de-lis is an important symbol of Louisville because of the Louis that the city is named after, King Louis XVI, the last king of France before the French Revolution and the fall of the French monarchy. Joining the NWSL in 2022, Angel City FC chose a name inspired by the city of Angels, Los Angeles. The badge was developed to complement the angelic namesake. It features a shield with a 22-degree slope across the top, representing the team's inaugural season of 2022. On the shield is the team name and a stylized angel in an Art Deco style. The wings of the angel break beyond the bounds of the shield, and the wings are designed to take inspiration both from palm tree fronds and the wings of red-tailed hawks of Southern California. And finally, San Diego Wave FC also joined the NWSL in 2022. They were originally announced as a team in Sacramento to be owned by the same ownership as the MLS bid of Sacramento Republic FC. Like I discussed in my MLS teams video, the Sacramento Republic FC MLS bid has been put on an indefinite hold. The NWSL franchise, however, continued on, but moving to San Diego instead of Sacramento. The team name was announced San Diego Wave Futbol Club, named after San Diego's, quote, pristine and powerful coastline and diverse cultural heritage. That's why they opted for the Spanish spelling of football instead of the English one. The badge features, quote, a powerful wave, cresting on the rich blues of the Pacific Ocean, sits in front and center as the iconic mark of Wave FC. And under the proud banner of the city's name are the vivid colors of the horizon celebrating the beauty, fun, and vibrant culture of the city and its people. The addition of Angel City FC and San Diego Wave FC make 12 teams for the NWSL so far. And that does it for this video. When more teams join the NWSL, or if there are any other changes, I'll post an update video for it. Until then, like and subscribe, share the video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.